Testing, testing, testing the audio. Testing the audio. Audio. Testing, testing the audio. Testing, testing the audio. Testing, testing the audio. Testing the audio. Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the October 2025 monthly update. Now, of course, it is not October, it is the 1st of November, and that's because, of course, yesterday I was busy with it being Halloween. Now, I'm going to show you what I was as at Halloween. Now, it started out, I just sort of painted I used just white face paint just to cover my face. It was a very last minute decision. But basically I realised that people couldn't actually see it because of how dark it was. No one could even see, because I don't go out on Halloween anymore. I'm answer the door for the people who come to the door. But because of how dark it was, I'm pretty sure no one could even see the white face paint, and so I added what you're about to see. I added black face paint to the eyes, and so I was just this fella. So that's my Halloween costume. Not the most creative thing in the world, but it scared people. So in fact, there was one group of 3 girls who came to the door, and only one of them even got a sweet out of the bowl. The rest just ran away. So, you know, I mean, it worked. It worked. But there we are. That's it. So that's my Halloween costume. So not the most creative in the world, but it did its job. Also, some things that I've got this month. Now, whenever I get like DVDs and books and stuff on birthdays, obviously I show them off, but I've gotten quite a few things this month, some of which I've got for Christmas and for birthdays and stuff, so obviously I'm not going to be showing them off. But some of these things I just got just because. So these two, first things, a DVD and a book, I got just from the charity shop a few days ago. I just went to the charity shop because it's my mum's birthday in November, and so I went to the charity shop to get a few things for her. And I also happened to get these there. I also got some ties, which I'll show you. Will I bother showing you the ties? I don't normally show off the ties, do I? I might. I'll think about it. But I got I'll start with the book. I got Crashlander by Larry Niven, because as I'm sure some of you will know, I'm trying to collect every single Larry Niven book in first edition. And this is in fact a first edition. It's not very rare. It's only from 1994, but this is a first edition. And I got it for 50p, which is pretty good. I mean, on eBay, it's going for about £13 on average, and I got it for 50p, so that's pretty good. One person, and this is ridiculous, but one person on eBay was trying to sell this book for £200, which is just hilarious to me, because it is. I mean, this could be the greatest book ever written, and it wouldn't be worth that much. This is a compilation of short stories, some of which I've already read. I mean, 2 of those there, Neutron Star and At the Core, are in one of his earlier compilations called Neutron Star, which I have already read. And by the time I actually get to this book, because I'm collecting all his books in order, and obviously this has skipped ahead quite a bit, by the time I get to this, I may have actually already read all of these stories, so it may become redundant by that point, but hey, who gives a diddle? I don't. So that's the first thing that I got, and then for, I think also 50p, but possibly maybe a bit less or a bit more, I've got The Thing by John Carpenter. This is one of these films where you kind of need it, and I didn't have it. And obviously it's pretty good. It's not my favourite John Carpenter film, but it is still pretty good, and there we are. That is that. So that's those. I'll show you the ties, because why not? I don't normally do this, but I got 4 ties from the shop, because whenever I go to the charity shop, I always pick out some ties, because I like a good tie. The best one is this one. It's a sort of pink wool, 100% wool, which most ties that you get these days are made of polyester, so pretty much plastic. And I still get those, because I like the patterns and stuff like that, but this is a very nice wool tie. So that's one. And then I got this one is, all the rest of these are just polyester, so all the rest of these are not as nice as that one to feel, but they're still quite nice colours. This one is a yellow sort of, it's kind of hard for you to actually see it. But it's a yellow sort of shiny kind of metallic, I don't know if you can see that pattern there, but it's a kind of metallic kind of thing. So that's quite nice. Then I got this one, which is sort of purple checkerboard kind of pattern. Or kind of like tiny little 3D squares type thing. So that's quite nice. And then finally, I got this one, which is sort of, you know, sort of horizontal stripes with sort of checkerboard patterny things going on as well. So that's that. So that's all the stuff I've got from various charity shops. So now moving on to the other stuff, I'm going to start with this, which I suppose I could also have included this in the blooming thing, in the things I watched this month thing, but I didn't. I watched this for the Halloween 3. Season of the Witch. I'd never seen this before, and me and my mum watched it on Halloween, because usually we watch Halloween, the first film, and then last year, for a bit of a change, we watched Halloween 2, so we got Halloween 3 to watch. This disc is cropped. I'm fairly certain the film is meant to be widescreen, and this has been cropped to 16:9, but you can tell it's meant to be widescreen because of the framing of certain shots, and it's clearly used an anamorphic lens, you can tell. So it's, you know, it was a slightly spoiled experience because of that. But the actual film itself was really good. I think I actually prefer it to Halloween, the first one. So, yeah, that's pretty good, I say. Then, I bought. Now I've got 2 copies of this film because this is the first one that I bought. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is the 2003 release, and it's got a load of nice special features. It's got a documentary, it's got commentaries, it's got interviews, it's got loads of really great special features, but the problem is the actual film itself looks dreadful. It's a really dreadful copy of the film. It's not anamorphic, so it's squished and you have to zoom in. It's just really, so it's not very good, and so I kept this just because the special features are pretty good, and I really like the actual presentation, like the box is really nice. But for the actual film itself, I got this as well. Now this, I don't like the actual box. I don't like that cover, and it doesn't have any special features. It's just the film, but it is in, you know, much better quality, and it's anamorphic, so it uses all the pixels that are there. So this is the one, if I ever want to watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this is the DVD I'll actually use, and this is the one I'll use if I want to see the special features. And then finally, last DVD that I've got here has a bit of a story to it, so I'll just show you. This is Angel's Egg, which is a DVD, which is a film that I watched, I think it was last month, and if you want to see me talk about it, I'll show you it there, but it is or you can go and watch that and see me talk about it. But it's a really good film. But this DVD, when I bought it, I assumed it was just a normal, proper DVD. But if you look really close up, you can see, well, that's probably a bit blurry for you anyway. But basically, it's very clearly a bootleg, because the actual text is really low quality, and you can hardly read. Obviously, I can't read Japanese, but the few bits of English on there I can't read. And the disc itself, if I get this out, is very clearly a bootleg. So you can see the actual the image there is all squished, and it's got the purple back, so it's very clearly a bootleg. But and there was some confusion over this because the seller, in their description, very clearly said that it was a bootleg. But unfortunately, and the reason it's a bootleg is because no Japanese DVD has, or the Japanese DVDs of this film, like the official releases, don't have English subtitles. And obviously I kind of require English subtitles in order to watch the film. So that was a bit annoying. Now, admittedly, had I known this was a bootleg, I probably wouldn't have bought it, because I could very easily burn the film onto a DVD myself. So, and it was quite expensive, but and because I didn't see that, I messaged them and saying this is bootleg, I'd like a refund and so on and so forth, and they explained to me that no, it's not, and I looked, or it is, but you know, I looked on my phone, and the description is there. It's just my computer didn't show the description, and so I bought it thinking it was an official DVD. So that was a bit annoying. That confusion, but the quality of the film is great, and it has the subtitles and they all work fine, so there's no real trouble there. But it was just a bit annoying that that my computer didn't tell. So now I'm going to be worried about that forever. You know, every single thing that I buy, I'm going to be like, did they say something in the description and I haven't read it? You know, so I don't know how I'm just going to have to check every sale on like another browser or something. I said my phone, it was really my dad's phone. And obviously I'm not going to get him, Dad, can I check this on your phone? Dad, can I check? You know, so I'm going to have to find another way to do it. But that's very annoying that happened. Having said that, I'm very glad to have it on DVD. I don't like that I paid like £22 for it. I would have rather just burnt it onto a disc myself, but of course buying it, I didn't know. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that is that. So that is stuff that I've done this month. Moving on to plans for... Oh, and also I've been working much more on the film as well. Kind of slowed down, actually, towards the end of the month. But I've been, making some good progress on that. Still nowhere near to actually start filming any more of it. But, slowly but surely winning the race. So yeah, that is that. Plans for next month. Work more on the film. Do more gaming videos. Dunno. It's my mum's birthday next month, so I bought her some presents. So that'll be nice, and some family are coming around for that. So that'll be good. That's it, really. I can't really think of anything else to do to talk about on that front. Things that I've watched this month. Now I've watched. Well, I'll just start. Now I know at the end of last month I said I was going to go through all of Andrei Zarlovsky's films, but I've said that before, and then I just get stuck at whatever their next film is, and I can't find it. And I found copies of it. Then his next film is That Most Important Thing, Love. Now I found a HD version with no subtitles, and a version with English subtitles, but it's in really, really crap quality, neither of which I want to watch. So, again, that's another one that I'm probably just going to have to get it on DVD at some point, but it doesn't actually look all that good from the little bits that I've seen, so I just, but there we are. So, onto the actual thing that I have actually watched. First film is The Bird with the Crystal Plumage from 1970. Dario Argento, the very first film I've seen by Dario Argento, and his first film, or first feature-length, directorial debut, and it's really good. I wanted to watch a couple more of his as well. I wanted to watch Deep Red and Suspiria, but I just couldn't be bothered. But I really liked this one. Really great twist that I didn't see coming. Cinematography fantastic. Music really good. Music was by Ennio Morricone. The guy who did the Sergio Leone films. He did the soundtrack to it, and it's very good. It's a sort of crime investigative thing. Don't really know how to explain it, but it's good. I like it. Yeah. Next film is one that I'd seen before, but I watched it with an alternate soundtrack. I can't speak English at the moment. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so 1984 is one of my favourite films, but I recently got on DVD another one that I have to get down, bloody. I got this. I think I showed this off before, but this is the Criterion Collection. DVD of 1984, and the reason I got it, partly because it's a great film and I want it on DVD, but also this contains an alternate soundtrack, because when this film came out, the soundtrack was by Eurythmics, but the director didn't actually want that, and he had a completely different soundtrack in mind by someone called Dominic Muldowney, and this contains that soundtrack. It's the very first time this soundtrack has been released, and it's not very good. I watched it with that alternate soundtrack, and it's just, I don't like it. It's just like one piece of music repeated every single time, and it's just very typical. I mean, it doesn't make it a bad film, of course. I mean, it's still a great film with that soundtrack, but the Eurythmics soundtrack is better. So in all future watches, I'm gonna just watch it with the Eurythmics one, because that's the proper one. But yeah, really great thing. I've linked there, because I don't think you can find the version of the film with the alternate soundtrack anywhere on the internet. I haven't looked, admittedly, but I've linked to an eBay search where I just searched up 1984 Criterion Collection. So if you want to get this DVD with the alternate soundtrack, or just because you want it on DVD because it's a great film, or Blu-ray, because this same one came out as a Blu-ray one as well. I mean, this is the great thing about the Criterion Collection, is they are one of the few, boutique film people who still release DVDs, because most people have kind of abandoned them. But I'm still on DVDs. I do own Blu-rays, but I don't buy them for the Blu-ray. You know what I mean? Like, some boxes contain a Blu-ray and a DVD, but I get it for the DVD. I don't have a Blu-ray player. I don't intend to ever buy a Blu-ray player. They're too expensive, and my eyes aren't good enough to notice the difference. So for pretty much every reason imaginable, I'm going to stick with DVDs and don't really intend to ever get into Blu-rays or 4K or anything like that. Especially with older films like this. There is no maybe there's a difference between the DVD and a Blu-ray, but Blu-ray and 4K, there's no difference, so I don't see the point, personally. But yeah, great film, not so great alternate soundtrack, but if you ever want to watch this, I would highly advise watching it with the original soundtrack. Then I watched a film called Jesus the Film from 1986. Now this is very interesting. It is an art film, but it's also a comedy, and I didn't realise, like, on Wikipedia it doesn't say anything about it being funny. No one mentions it's supposed to be funny, but it's really, really funny. What it is it's a very loose retelling of the Bible from the New Testament, so from Jesus' birth to the crucifixion. It's a very loose, representation of that, but done by a bunch of German art students in the 80s, and it's just funny. I mean, I don't know how much of it was meant to be funny, but it just really is. And the way they did it is each chapter of the New Testament is done by a different filmmaker. So the main guy, who is also the guy who's playing Jesus, he's the guy who directed the whole film. But really, the actual individual bits of the film were all directed by different people, and they just knew where the last person left off, and they continue from there. And so it flows, but it's some bits are done very seriously and very sort of, darkly, and then other bits are just ridiculous comic things. set in modern day without, you know, any of the ancient sort of stuff that you'd expect from Jesus's life. But yeah, it's just, I really enjoyed it. It's probably the film that I've enjoyed the most out of all of them, actually, because it's just funny. But yeah, so that is that. But hey ho. So yeah, that is that. And then the final film that I watched, which again I've linked a thing there, but it's not actually where I watched it because I have it on DVD. I watched Rear Window because I have a little Alfred Hitchcock box set with Rear Window, Vertigo, Psycho, and The Birds. I'd already seen all the other ones, but I'd never actually seen Rear Window. And this isn't a new box set, I've had it for years, but I just never watched Rear Window, and so I've watched it now. And it's pretty good. It's not the best film ever. But it's pretty good. I quite liked it. Not great. I mean, Alfred Hitchcock is one of those directors who, some of his, like, Psycho is great, but all his other films have this kind of very sort of classical style of filmmaking that I just don't really enjoy. And the way the actors talk is very, you know, theatre style of talking, which I've just never really liked. Psycho is the one film of his which kind of doesn't really do it that way. And so you know, that's the one that I like, but his others are just not all that good. And the story is really good, but it's just the way it's done isn't so good. Like, I think if you'd given the script to a different director, it would have been a lot better. But Alfred Hitchcock is just one of those people who I just don't quite get him. But yeah, that's that. And then I haven't listened to anything this month, so it's pretty much, yeah. But yeah, there's not much else to talk about. Just obviously I've been spending most of my time working on the film and recording videos for the gaming channel, so that's where most of my time has gone, so I haven't had much time for watching or... I mean, that's crap, obviously, because I have been watching films most nights, but on DVD, films that I've already seen before. You know, I've watched... well, I already mentioned 1984, didn't I? But I've watched A Clockwork Orange, and I've watched Full Metal Jacket, and I watched Ghost Town, which is one of my favourite comedies. So yeah, I have been watching stuff, just not really that much stuff that I haven't seen before, you know. But yeah, but yeah, that is that. So I'm just staring at this box set here, which I'm not allowed to show you yet because it's my own birthday present. Because I plan ahead, even though my birthday's in April, I've already bought some stuff for my birthday, and so I'm very excited to getting into this box set. I mean, maybe I can show you a quick preview of it. There you are. And I got volume 2 as well. I only had to get it down to get those other DVDs out of the way, because my shelves are just a mess. I really need to do something about it. I'm thinking of getting some shelves. If I point your camera over there, you see above my bed, I have those 3 paintings. I'm thinking of taking those down and just putting some shelves up there just to clear out some of the space on these shelves, because it's getting pretty ridiculous. Because I can barely access anything on the shelves because of the amount of stuff in front. Like, I have them DVDs on the shelves, but then I have all the stuff in front of the DVDs. So if I want to get a DVD down, I can't just get it and take it down. I need to move stuff out of the way to get it, so it's not ideal. But then again, it was never going to go smoothly being in my house, was it? So that's... But anyway, yeah. That is all for this time. I hope you guys have had a good October. I hope you have a good November. Happy Halloween and all that stuff, even though it's a day late. But... And yeah, that is that. That is all for this time. I'll see you in the next thing that I do. Goodbye. Has anything else happened this month? Prunella Scales has died. And completely coincidentally to that, I've been watching Fawlty Towers again on DVD. because it has John Cleese's commentary on it, and it's really nice. He goes into detail about, and he gives like advice on how to construct a gag and such, and it's just very. And obviously John Cleese is one of my favourite people, so there is that little thing. But yeah, that is all for this time, guys. I'll see you in the next thing I do, and I'll see you in the next thing. Good night. Have a good November. Have a good life, in general. Goodbye.